All right, ladies and gentlemen. So Brian Baldinger said that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to get a lot better come mid-July, and that there's going to be big news breaking sometime this week. I don't know what it is, guys, but hey, man, let's talk about it. What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever it is you get around to watching this. Once again, guys, my name is Steven Hyder, and this is Gate City Sports Channel. All right, guys, listen up. I don't know what the heck this crap is about, man. Brian Baldinger comes out on his Twitter account, and he says, he ties in at the Eagles and hashtag Fly Eagles Fly and says, I'm hearing whispers about big news coming this week. Hashtag Birds could get a lot better in mid-July. Hashtag Baldy's Breakdowns. So, man, it's, here's the thing about Brian Baldinger, guys. I love the guy to death, man. I really enjoy his, Baldy's Breakdowns. I'm a guy that studies and watches a lot of film. I'm a guy who loves to report on film. I love the guy that makes decisions based upon film. So I do have somewhat of a respect for Brian Baldinger, but at the same time, I do know that Brian Baldinger is known to be maybe just a little kind of dramatic about things at times. He can overhype things a little. If you guys remember, Brian Baldinger is the one that said the stuff about like Dimitri Patterson and Asante Samuel being like the best duo in the league at the corner position. So grain of sand here, I would say. Here's my thing. No clue who it could be. But let's just talk about the ulterior things that kind of relate to this topic that are going to impact the topic, like our cap space. We're currently sitting at $24 million in cap space, so $24.752 worth of cap space. So, we got a little cap for this season, but the issue being is we clearly want to take some of our cap and roll that over to the following year. And I would assume the Eagles would probably like to roll a little more than $10 million. I guess if we can get a certain deal and player done that would allow us to at least keep 15 or maybe a little more than that worth of cap to roll over, that would be good. But, man, you always got to keep a little money for the season because you never know what's going to happen during the season. You might need to plug a guy in and sign a guy. So, that's the other side of this, guys, that gets me a little worried here is that, yeah, we got it for this year. But when you look at what's coming up, guys, we're estimated right now. No one knows the real cap figure, guys, because the collective bargaining hasn't happened yet for 2021. And to make matters worse, we don't know the impact of COVID-19 yet on what's going to happen to the finances. So 2021, right now, we're estimated to be $50.719354 over the cap. So $50,719,354 over the cap. Look, I don't concern myself that we wouldn't get down to zero. I'm concerned that can cause us to miss out on certain players, right? Clearly, we're going to have to make decisions about the future of the roster. That's what makes this tweet so interesting to me. Because I can tell you, certainly guys that I would want, in terms of preference. Because my thing is when Brian Baldinger says something along the lines of, could get a lot better, right, and big news, well, that tells you that whoever the Eagles are signing has got to be a recognized name. Whatever's about to happen has to be a recognized name. And the two players I've heard through the trade channels recently, well, it's really three players, but I don't think one of them makes us significantly better. But, you got guys like Yannick Ngakoue, who's clearly wanted to come to the Eagles. He's been sending cryptic tweets for months now, about Reggie White and other Eagle Graves basically wanting to be here. With that said, as much as I love Yannick Ngakoue, and as talented as that kid is, I'm not saying none of this won't happen, guys. I'm saying I fail to see at this point in time how you get the contracts to work out. Because we have to, they would have to be really willing to allow us some flexibility come 2021 to get out from under this and then really escalate their pay in 2022. So, we would really have to have a guy that really wants to play here in particular for that to happen. I don't know if that would work with Yannick Ngakoue, but I'm just spitting the facts to it. Now, look, you get a guy like Yannick Ngakoue, and you got him long term, I'm going to be real with you, it's probably going to happen. this is probably Brandon Graham's last year, and I think that would be an absolute indication that Graham is likely not back for next year. And he is scheduled to make a little bank come the 2021 season. So I do think that a move like that with Yannick Ngakoue, guys, would have an impact on Brandon Graham. Just simply put, guys, it's a numbers game, guys. It's nothing against Brandon Graham, but he's scheduled to count $17 million against the cap. I'm sorry, not $17 million. Yeah, he is. $17.928 million against the cap, okay? So, he would probably be a June 1st cut designation, I would think, if that were to happen, because he does have some pretty big projected dead money there, right? I mean, the Eagles can get by and save themselves a couple thousand. It'd be like 700,000 you would save, but it's not a big savings about a June 1st designation. If the Eagles were to June 1st designate Brandon Graham as a cut for 2021, that basically would save us a teeny tiny bit of money, but let me go ahead and submit this, guys. It's not going to be drastically different in the money here, guys. So the dead money would come down to 10. You cut him, you'd save yourself a few mil, guys. So you would save yourself 12 million next year. So that would be my idea, is they're probably with June 1st designate him. The other big name player from a trade perspective, guys, in terms of impactful, it's going to be Jamal Adams. Guys, that would be really difficult to have happen because Jamal Adams is going to want to be paid, but clearly he would be impactful. The other thing, though, is like trying to really work out the secondary and the players we already brought in, we already signed. I don't know that that's a bigger need. Would he make the Eagles better? Yeah, no doubt. Jamal Adams is a straight stud. But I don't know that that's a need for the Eagles right now. Certainly an impactful player. The Eagles come out and they trade for Jamal Adams. Hey, man, I'm excited. No doubt about it. But I don't know that that's where I would, want to preference my money being spent, because now you're investing way too much at safety, in my opinion. So, the other guy I could say through the trade channels, guys, and I don't think it's much of a possibility, would be Raheem Mostert. We had him here in training camp, all that. I mean, yeah, he cost you, probably $3-4 million. I don't think he's really looking for that much money. But, keep in mind, guys, we let Jordan Howard walk over $5 million. Jordan Howard was a young physical back that fit everything we needed to do. Raheem Mostert is not a physical back like, the way Jordan Howard is, but he did have he had the highest yards per carry last year. So, I mean, he had like 6 yards per carry or so. So, I mean, he's been really productive when he's been in lineups. I don't see that being significant, though. That wouldn't seem to match Baldy's words. To me, that would be a drastic, like, overreach. That would be him, like, being, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing too much. That's not groundbreaking news here. That's not a groundbreaking move. Then you got your free agents, guys. Gut instinct here. Looked at Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, come on, guys. Jadeveon Clowney cost you 8, 9, 10 mil a year, probably. Somewhere in that range is what I would assume he would, 8 to 10 million is what I assume he'd sign for, guys. The problem I have with Jadeveon Clowney is that, yeah, he would work for 1 year, but you're lowering your cap figure for 1 year to basically stunt the growth of other players, because it's going to limit other guys getting snaps. And it really doesn't resolve your roster going forward, because it's very unlikely you would have him under contract for 2021 unless you worked a contract extension out with him during the season where his money would be dipped down low in 2021 and escalating up in 2022. There are things like that could occur. Of course, that would also probably indicate the end of Brandon Graham, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm a huge Brandon Graham fan, and I would love to see Brandon Graham maintained on the roster for another year or two as more of a, that third pass rusher, that Chris Long role type guy. But you can't keep guys on that role at $17 million. I mean, let's just be real, guys. I mean, to me, he's very, very likely to be a cut. He's very likely to be a cap casualty, in my opinion. I like Jadeveon Clowney a lot, guys. I didn't like what happened with Carson Wentz, and that's got to be, you got to make sure that and you can't ask him, like that's got to be a private conversation. You can't put that out there in public, because he's going to say all the right things, not necessarily what he really feels. Here's my thing about Jadeveon Clowney. People are going to look at it and say, look, man, he's had some season long, like 3.5 sacks. Like, yeah, last year, like, yeah, guys, but that's because people are paying too much attention to a singular stat, and like a sack, they're not looking at pressure rate, and that guy is an incredible pressure rate guy. Clearly would make our defensive line rotation feel almost unstoppable with Clowney, Graham, Derek Barnett. Then you got, Javon Hargraves and Fletcher Cox off the middle with Malik Jackson. Like, our defensive line would be a nightmare for teams. I'm just scared that's a one-year fix. And if you're going to go with a one-year fix, I know what guys most you're going to say, which is, like, why wouldn't you go with Everson Griffin if you're just going to go for a one-year fix? I mean, if we're going to stunt the growth of guys that we need to see, why not go with a guy that's probably going to cost you less money and is probably just as disruptive, and still, while he's just as disruptive with the pressure rate stuff, he's pretty close to it. He actually gets there and gets the sack, too, so the numbers kind of, make you feel more warm and comfortable. That'd be Everett Griffin. Everett Griffin's a good football player, don't get me wrong. Got some stuff that went on with his mental health that, I'm pretty sure the Eagles would assess it and make sure everything's okay. But, look, man, that kid, regardless of what we think about him, man, the kid plays with, a chip on the shoulder, and he's a really good football player. These are the only guys I could really think, guys, that I could see outside of maybe signing a guard. You could look for, a Warford to come in or something like that could happen at guard. I just don't think that's that big of an impactful move. I think it's definitely a move that should happen. If you're going to spend a little money to get you through something, I think you spend it on your offensive line, given the, what we have going on there, the uncertainty there. But I don't know. I mean, my gut instinct tells me that it's probably D-line or O-line because we're talking about Brian Baldinger. Brian Baldinger, he's a lineman guy. He works a lot with O linemen and D linemen, and that's where his comfort zone is. These are my thoughts on it, guys. I want to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't have the greatest gut instinct on this one. It would seem like it's Jadeveon Clowney just based upon the momentum coming from last week, but at the same time, I'm hoping it's not something crazy, guys, because the thing about going and getting guys like Jamal Adams and going and getting guys like Yannick Ngakoue is we have to give up draft capital to go get them. We got to get this roster younger, guys. This roster has to get younger, and you need draft picks to do that. So that's the other frustration part of the trade scenarios. But, yeah, it is what it is, guys. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I don't know. I don't have the answers to this one, man. Let me know maybe you guys have heard something I haven't heard yet. So fill me in on it, guys. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here. You know me on these videos. We do a little E-A-G-L-E-S. All right, y'all. Let's go, Eagles.